morning, team. It is Tuesday, May 7th. I'm Amy Corr. I'm here with Kevin Van Eck, and we are live out of the Goose Island office.
That's right.
Wow, hard to believe it's already May, but we've got a great topic for this time of year that I think is super timely. We are calling it the Spring Season Audit. So grab your cup of coffee. You're not going to want to miss out on this one, and let's jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
That's right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Cheers. We'll do a cheers at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
So, the Spring Season Audit, the SSA, not to be confused with the Social Security Administration.
I feel like the word audit is very scary. You should take this very seriously.
It is,
yes.
knock on wood.
Yes.
It was just tax time just a month ago or so. So, but yeah, this is a good topic because, and we've talked about it before, right? It's a good reset because sometimes we get into the year and we just keep going. Like you said, it's already May. I don't know how this happens so fast. But we want to take this moment to stop, look at what's happened so far, reset. And so that's what we want to take you through today is some of the steps to do just that before we get to the end of the year and it's over and you have some regrets. Yeah. So no regrets. It's time for the Spring Season Audit.
That's right. Well, I like this time of year right now, and I've been already talking with a lot of agents because I think no matter what your 2024 has looked like to date, I think some people are sort of surprised. Some maybe it didn't get out of the gates as fast as they thought. Some are busier than usual, but I kind of think regardless, it's, we create our business plan in November and December. Right. And we have all great hopes of having the best year of our lives. But then,
a lot of optimism.
Certain things happen, like the market comes into play, inventory, interest rates, we've got some things that we're working through with the NAR settlements, right? A lot going on. And so I think now, we've kind of gotten through the spring market. We've just wrapped up April. Mm-hmm. And I think, what I'm talking to a lot of agents about right now is pull out that business plan, dust it off. We haven't seen it in a while, but let's just do a check-in. Let's just see, are we on track for where we thought we were going to be, come May this year? And, for some of you, it might be looking great. And for others, it may not be great. But I just think looking at it gives you control. And it gives you the opportunity to decide, do I need to make some changes? Do I need to pivot in my plan? Mm-hmm. I know, and I even remember when I sold, I always had those people that were pushovers. They were pushovers from the previous year into my new year.
Yes.
And eventually I was going to get them out of my pipeline and sell them something, right? Or sell their house or help them buy. And a lot of us have that going from one year to the next. But then I know by now, sometimes we know those maybe aren't going to pan out. Mm-hmm. Or there are certain buyers or sellers who maybe you talked to at the beginning of the year and now have decided that they're going to hold off. So it's almost looking at, what hasn't panned out so far and how am I going to replace what I projected to be part of my pipeline. Looking at that in May as opposed to looking at that in September is a great idea. So it's like, and I know like sometimes it's a scary thought. Yeah. For some of us, we feel like it's a look at maybe failure. It's a look at, I'm not doing all the things that I even said that I would be doing. But, whether you take a look at it or not, it's going to happen. Yeah. So, my first suggestion is just pull out your, playbook for 2024, what your business plan looked at, just do a real hard assessment of where I'm at and figure out where I need to pivot, where I need to pick up.
Yep, that's great because I think, it might be disappointing if someone's not where they are, but as you say, there's all these other factors. So one of the points in doing the spring audit as well is looking at the positives. Like what has gone really well? Because if you don't take this time now in May and you do get to September, like we're laughing about, but that happens, we get to September and we didn't maximize or repeat the things that we are doing well or the things that are working or take advantage of other situations. So it's looking at like, okay, where has the business come from so far this year? Looking at the people, it might be your top ambassador, your top A, the referral sources, and really leveraging that. We may have missed an opportunity to thank them, show them gratitude, be able to really ramp it up. So highlighting the people that have been those ambassadors, reading your A list if it's been a period of time, maximizing that. If you had, let's say, a client appreciation gift or a party, or you did something so far this year that had great results and tangible results and you can see them and count them out, do it again, right? Like just do it again. So it is looking at, okay, what's not happening, but also, let's look at the positives on what we've done well and really leverage that.
And I think what's so important too is recognizing that, I've had this again in a lot of conversations where what I've done in the past 2 years isn't working this year, and sometimes a market does shift or change so that some of our old tricks, don't seem to just be happening. Or I know I remember this when I sold, like you go through a great couple of cycles with clients and then you kind of feel like, God, where's all my business coming from? Because I've kind of placed all my people, so it's really sometimes realizing that maybe this year things are panning out or things are happening differently. So to your point, see what you're doing now this year that is working, because some of the things from a couple of years past might not be fleshing out as well as you had thought, right? So I think that's also really important is, because the market's different every year. And so some of your reactions and things you're doing have to be different.
Interest rates, buyers, like all these things that are happening in our industry, it's changed. So our approach has to change.
Yeah. I love your idea though about looking at some of the good stuff that's coming out of your plan, because I do think we tend to go to what's not working, what's wrong. So, starting kind of with that positive. And then, I think, what I would also really encourage agents to do is we tend to look at our plan on our own. And sometimes we look again at what didn't I do well. And, sometimes we can kind of get bummed or not feel great that we aren't exactly where we wanted to be come May 7th. Sure. So find someone that you can sit down with. I would encourage you to reach out to your managing broker, and any of them, I'm sure, would be happy to sit down and do the spring audit with you. Because the other thing about getting somebody else to take a look at it is, they may be seeing other things that other agents are doing that is creating success, right? And so, you might be kind of stuck in a lane, and just one or two nuggets or different pieces of idea or feedback could be all you need to kind of change things up. So absolutely. I would encourage, your managing broker, or, if agents have colleagues, I think that are in the office and they want to sit down and powwow. I think, the scariest place I sometimes find myself is, in my head alone. Yes. And then I know right away I need to call somebody, right? Because we tend to be, our harshest critic, and we tend to focus on a lot of that negative. And the audit isn't intended to make us feel bad. It's actually, in my mind, intended to make us feel empowered, that we can take some control back. It is only May. We have so much more runway for the year, but let's look at some of the things that we can do to be able to adjust.
I love it. Accountability, audit, we have all these scary words, but they're really, really built for growth. Like the idea is to improve, get better. The accountability piece, I love the colleague side of it. And making sure that you find somebody who's real with you, like that won't allow you to lie to yourself. Right. So accountability is scary because it feels like this heavy-handed, who someone's going to check in with me. But in reality, I like that you brought up ideas too, because whether it's a managing broker or someone, maybe not even from your own market, that you'll be able to idea share. So it's great.
And we're seeing a lot of that happening now, and a lot of agents are even getting these great groups where there's like 3 or 4 of them. Yes. And now they're meeting once a month, and they all, it's really cute. There was an agent who had to teach, she was in charge of teaching everybody some elements of using AI in their business. Okay. Colleen Stein, I'm putting a shout out to you. She texted me and said, I'm so nervous, but what they're doing is they're idea sharing, and they're helping each other figure out, how can we move our businesses forward.
I love that. That's such a cool... Yeah. I'll need to reach out to Colleen. That's such a cool...
She said her daughters had seen kind of her outline, and they were like, she said they were making so much fun of her. And I said, you know what? You just tell them, you watch out, girls. Your mom is going to take over real estate anytime soon. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Great. It was cool. Great. Yeah. Well, we hope you found these tips helpful. Your spring season audit. Don't wait. Do it now. We encourage you to do it because it's going to help you take control of the rest of your 2024. On that note, make it a great Tuesday, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, remember, Kevin,
you got this.
That's right. You got this.